Hi, it's Jon Binnie here. I'm your spiritual psychic mentor living here in Bonnie, Scotland, and I'm here to help you today on your life and awakening journey. And I'd love today to begin by really focusing on connecting in with our hearts, opening up our hearts, and helping us traverse through these global changes that we experience. And I'll also be moving on to some predictions and answering your questions that you've been generously posting onto my website. So thank you. Also, a massive thank you to over 12,000 of you subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. It fills my heart with such joy. I started the YouTube channel just 19 years ago. And since 2017, I've been posting regularly. So it's been a really beautiful journey. And I know that I'm ready for you guys finally and more. And it's taken me a long time to just level up to being the person that matches your frequency and vibration and can support you on your journey. And for those of you that don't know me, I live here in Scotland on the East Coast, and I'm married with 2 children. I have 26 years in software engineering and AI. 8 years of that at the end was at Amazon, Amazon corporate. So I did a lot of travel to the West Coast of the US, to Seattle and Vancouver in particular, and also over to New York and Washington, D.C. And I also left that career. I started doing this work professionally in last year. So May last year, I started my company. And it's just been an incredible honor to continue to connect with more people and support more people around the world on their awakening journeys. I do a whole range of services. You can check these out on my website, jonbinnie.com. I post every day pretty much on YouTube. And my awakening journey started in 2017 when I opened up my heart and began meditating each day. I had a really beautiful experience in my first meditation of seeing the planets and the stars and the nebulas of this universe in their creative processes and energy flowing between them. And that was in my first meditation for 30 minutes. So I was hooked. I just decided I would do that every day. I'd meditate each day, and creating that oasis of calm, allowing my heart to be open in those 10 minutes each day, even through some of the toughest times in my corporate job and my family life. I was a senior manager at Amazon. I had a lot of responsibility, and it was an intense transition and transformation for me. I'm very blessed by a very supportive family, and we've changed our lives as well. We've downsized our home, downsized our vehicles. We used to have a holiday home as a business that we sold. And not because we're worried about not having enough money, but through simplification, we wanted a simpler, clearer, easier life. And so we now live in our dream home. It's actually very close to our old home. And we do lots of camping adventures and love exploring the UK. And as our kids are getting older, they're getting closer to, they're in their teenage years and getting closer to leaving home. One of them already has, but we'll continue to do more UK, European, and global adventures. So I hope you stick around for the coming months and years and watch my family and I continue to expand and grow. But yeah, I also offer quantum energy, quantum psychic, Akashic readings, clearings, healings, past life readings, and healings, chakra scanning, helping people activate their superpowers. I also offer a range of training courses that I've developed based on my experiences. So I learned on the job since about over the last 4 to 5 years. I've been doing this as a hobby, and the last year and a half professionally, almost a year and a half. So thank you so much, everyone, for your continued love and support. It means so much to me. So yeah, let's get started and create a safe space, and then we'll do a meditation to really help open up our hearts at this time. Okay, so let's begin by taking in a deep breath through the nose And breathe out what no longer serves our highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion that no longer serves you, nice and loud. And continue to breathe deeply and calmly. And focus your attention on the center of your heart, where your golden divine spark enters your human form. Your very soul enters your body. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light upwards, up through the top of your head, up into the sky and up into the stars, all the way up through the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe, until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love of this universe. And there, connecting your light cord into the highest dimension of source. Feel into that oneness, unity, and unconditional love, that feeling of home. Remain connected into source and extend your light cord down through the stars and the sky, back down through the top of your head and into your heart once more. And now this time from the center of your heart, as you allow your heart, just like the rose petals of a rose flower opening up to receive the energy of the sun, allow your heart to soften and open. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light downwards through the roots of your spine and deep into the earth, all the way down through the layers of the planet, going deeper and deeper until you reach the very core of Mother Earth. And there, connecting your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. Mother Gaia, the soul of our Mother Earth. As we connect into her fifth dimensional crystalline heart, remain connected to Gaia's heart and extend your light cord up through the layers of the planet, up through the root of your spine and into your heart once more. And now this time from the center of your heart, with the light of Source above and Mother Gaia below and your own light, expand out your golden bubble of protective light to surround you about 2 meters out to each side, above and below, and in front and behind you, surrounding all aspects of you and your aura, your auric field. And set the intention that only energies and entities with your permission, your highest good love and compassion can see you, access you, or exist within this space or within you. All other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into your safe space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia. And ask at this time for their guidance, clearing, healing, protection, and assistance with the integration of today's messages and healings. And through space and time, I create a protective bubble around all of us, engaging with this video across space and time. And please take a deep breath as I do this. Inviting in our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Soul, the Ra, energy, the sun, and Luna, the moon. And I'd like us to focus back on our hearts as we've created a safe space around us. And let's focus now on gently softening and opening our hearts. We're going to imagine writing a short love note to our own hearts, a love letter to our hearts. So please join me. Place your left hand or both hands on your heart. Dear heart, I love you. I love you so much, dear heart. You're always there with me. Every beat within you, every pulse that you feel within me, I feel the life force of Source flowing through me. We're safe, dear heart. We're safe. We're safe to open up within these strong, sovereign boundaries we've created today. In these moments, for these next 10 minutes, I guarantee your safety. Dear heart, remember to open just like you were when we were first born. Dear heart, please open as a rose flower does its petals to the sun. Dear heart, please open to receive the love of the sun and the love energy that flows through it. Dear heart, please open as we receive all the beautiful love of this universe. And for each of us now, I bring in a column of source light from the highest dimension of source above, and I bring it directly down into your heart with the intention to fill your hearts with the source of love as I make the Om sound and clear away anything that no longer serves you down through your lower chakras and down through the base of your spine, your root chakra, and deep into earth. Bringing in this source love energy. And I bring forwards the voice of Source at this time for a message for you and your dear soul. Beautiful, beautiful soul. Beautiful, beautiful heart. I love you. I love you. Feel this love within you flow across your being. Open your heart to fully give love and receive love in equal measure. You are love. You are a unique expression of my love. Thank you, Source. And we remember at this time, we remember the times in our lives where we have been the most joyous. We remember the times with our loved ones, friends, and family. Our time in those present moments, doing the things we love, with the people we love, in the places we love and feel safest. We nourish our hearts with our love at this time. And I ask each of us to practice this each morning, to place our hands on our hearts and look in the mirror. The first thing we speak out loud in the morning, the first words that come from our mouths. Look at yourself in the eye with your hand on your heart and inserting your name instead of mine. Jon, I love you. Jon, I love you. Jon, I love you. And as you see yourself, perhaps bring a smile to your face. Perhaps it even feels a little bit awkward to receive your own love. This is the time. This is the perfect space. This is the perfect moment to send your love and to receive your love. It is your love for yourself that is healing this world. This world and its healing begins from healing within. Let us also take a moment now as we relax our bodies and we come into this beautiful, safe space we've created fully, feeling our bodies sitting, standing, laying down, walking. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we're held by Mother Earth at this time. And as we're on the earth, as children of Earth, we expand out our awareness across the lands and the oceans, the deserts and the forests, beneath the ground and above the ground and in our skies, and even in our orbit in space. We bring awareness to all humans across this planet at this time. And we send so much love to all. We open up our hearts to see that and feel that all of the lights, the golden bright lights of all hearts, of all living things on this planet, that we are all the same in the respect that we love. And no matter what experiences and traumas and challenges we've experienced in our lives, the strongest power within each of us is our love. We also send love, healing, best wishes and prayers to all those who are experiencing suffering in the world, to all those lights in the hearts around the world that are struggling at this time, that need help, those that are missing or in any form of slavery or action or trauma against their will, anyone who needs help, anyone who needs someone else, we send you love at this time. We ask the supports of Mother Gaia, the sun, the moon. We ask support of Source. We ask for the support of the Archangels, our galactic brothers and sisters around the universe, to support in the smooth transition of Earth at this time, accepting that we first need to continue to go through shaking up of any of these challenges, of these constraints, these handcuffs that hold us, whether we put them on ourselves or not. It is time for us as a humanity to break free. We send love to all of those affected, both now and in the future, of any storms, earthquakes, volcanoes, any weather events, any earth events, political battles or wars, conflicts with neighbors, whatever challenges you experience. We send you all so much love at this time, and we ask for Source to assist in touching your hearts as Source has done for ours, should you choose to consent and accept it, to receive the love of Source, to help bring you back to that bright golden spark in the center of your heart, remembering that we are all of Source. We are all unique expressions, and to help celebrate our uniqueness. And we also bring our hearts' attention to our futures, asking our hearts, what is it we want of this new world that we co-create together? Through these changes, after these changes, across the earth, what is it we want? Do we seek equality, unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, sovereignty, freedom, feeling safe, abundance, both financially and in our time, our energy, our love, loved ones, and the joys that we experience in our lives? Asking every heart across the world at this time to begin to make those choices about what it is they want from this world. It is those very choices that affect every now present moment and have an effect, no matter how small, on every single decision we make at this time, in this now present moment. It is now that we create this new world together, and we support each other in raising our vibrations and releasing what no longer serves us. And so it is. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are at 26th of July, and sometimes I laugh at my hands. I don't know why my hands do this. 26th of July, and we are going through some big changes. We know there's a lot of energy flowing through from the sun right now with these galactic ascension waves. These are energies with the intention to support the upgrade of each of us, the raising of our vibrations, the raising of our, every emotion has a vibration. And so we are raising up in our emotional vibrations. So higher, happy, joy, gratitude, and love. These are higher frequencies of emotions. And then lower frequency emotions are shame is lowest, then we, because it's an isolation. And then we have fear, pain, anxiety, trauma, suffering. There's lots of low vibration emotions too. So the whole spectrum. And you go through the third, fourth, and fifth dimensions are the closest to us at the moment. We feel the physical third dimension. Fourth dimension is more of energy. And then fifth is starting to blend the two more. If fifth dimension for me feels much more like a heaven on earth, a new world that we're creating together. So we're going through big changes at this time. And I'd love to start answering through some of your questions. And so I'm going to go through, you've been submitting these on my website, so thank you very much. It's jonbinnie.com /YouTube -questions. And you just fill out a little form. So thank you for that. And it makes my life so much easier. And I feel like you're also submitting them onto a platform that isn't moderated by Google, for example. So, you can be a little bit more expressive with your language. So the first one is from Cheryl, and it says, this is regarding yesterday's video, I believe. It says, many thanks for these words from Source and these new truths, Jon. I am unclear as to what services 8 to 12 million people would be enslaved to provide in these underground facilities. If the Epstein files are a gateway, the abuse is sexual, why torture? Are these CIA sites? Is this more of an MK Ultra gone underground? Is there extraterrestrial involvement? This is really just one question, the same question: who benefits from the enslavement of missing people? With so much love and compassion to Gaia and honoring her, need to purge and anger that is unresolved, and the collective grief she has absorbed. Thank you, Cheryl. What a powerful question, and I really love the energy behind it. It's yesterday's video was a lot. It took a lot for me to not just deliver, but also to really just work through the releasing of the anger. As a human, I don't carry much, if any, anger. And so holding that frequency for a few hours yesterday was definitely a journey for me. And so thank you for all of your support, and thank you in just opening up your heart to at least begin to, like Cheryl's doing, starting to ask questions about it. Like, when you feel truths shared from someone, what do they feel like to you? And, not everyone needs to agree, right? Not everyone needs to agree with truths. And this is a whole other subject, right? But I would also encourage you to understand that this isn't just for Cheryl, for everyone, that what you're experiencing in these videos is not a universal truth, right? I personally do not believe in the concept of a universal truth, that there's one truth, because I believe that truths are in the eye of the beholder. They are in the perception of the consciousness. So when I ask Source, for example, for truth, I get Source's view, or my belief is, my knowing is that Source is a collective of consciousness. And so we have this single voice expressing that view. But you can disagree with Source, right? And you can also disagree with Gaia and me and the sun and any being that I ask. So that's why I'm also always very clear about, I try and name as much as possible the being or beings or collectives that I'm representing when I give answers, because this is their truths that we're sharing, and I'll always share mine as well. Okay, so let's first of all ask this question of Gaia to see if there's a bit more that, if she's aware of this, since she was the one that helped introduce some of this, and also if Source would like to share anything. So just ask Gaia to come through. Okay, thank you, Gaia. So just to prepare you a little bit, the answer is quite dark, as you'd expect. First of all, there's the numbers are vast. Okay, there are into the millions of people that are enslaved in some fashion. Now, it's not all underground, right? There are some bases above ground, and some of the conversation I was having with Gaia since yesterday's video, she was also sharing a bit more about off-world. And yes, some, part of Shell's question, is there extraterrestrial involvement? Yes, some is off-world. And in fact, some of these facilities are also on the moon. My sense is that some are also on ships. So this is not exclusive to one country. It's not exclusive to one continent, and it's not even exclusive to our planet. But it is an effect that's happening to the human race. So she also said that there's just just struggling a little bit with emotion. She was also saying that people are, her words, she used the word farmed. And this is, and it's a horrible term to use about any living thing, but especially humans. And she said, so to explain a bit about her perception of what humans are doing to each other in these facilities, is that that humans are effectively, in many places, they are first either taken from, they are, we might call them like a missing person, abducted, or they are actually born in these places. And the latter we didn't really touch on in yesterday's video. So that's even darker, right? In that, my interpretation is, because we just would have no idea who are all these people, have they ever even seen the light of day? I don't know. But really, Guy's answer was, there's a foundation of, seeing, just so imagine for a moment that, farming humans is a, regular practice, that she described this feeling of a stock of people, and then the people would be, purposed, so they'd be given purpose for their use. So they may be sold, they may be all those issues, all those challenges you experienced about all the different traumas that could happen to them. are true, and there's more, including experimentation. There's no limit to the bad things that us humans do to each other, but these are truths that really need to come to light. And I did, just before the video, I did a little bit of checking myself on what it is that I'd been guided to look at. So I'd been guided to look at the internet to get this was before yesterday's video, to get an idea of what the world is saying about how many people go missing each year. So this is each year. And the numbers, so first of all, it's quite fascinating that some of the kind of the higher trending answers are wildly different, right? You might look at that and go, what is Jon talking about? You know, there's tens of thousands of people in some really big countries, not millions. And then you also, that's not what I was guided to, right? I was guided to, this is the International Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And I really just spent 5 minutes looking at this. I'm not big on researching, and I don't, to be honest, even, big names and big institutions that lightly do, some really good things, I just don't trust until I've seen the data myself, or even seen or met the people that are affected. And so to me, this is just text on web pages. But we have the Wall Street Journal saying that in 2012, it's estimated that some 8 million children go missing around the world each year. And then the BBC says, the definition of missing varies. Some of them are found quickly, some take months and years. Some are never found. And then there's a whole list of stuff there. I don't need to repeat especially the effects, the traumas that are inflicted on children. I don't need to repeat what words it says. You can imagine those. And then also some of the statements from the International Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they describe this figure of 8 million. And my sense from looking at this is that it may be, an estimate, right? Like no one really knows. But it's 8 million plus 4 million adults. So 8 million children, 4 million adults. Now that's a report that goes back to 2012, and it's every year. And thank you, Gaia. Gaia is just showing me, this is just to help us introduce ourselves to some of the possibilities of the scale of what's going on the world right now. I can't guarantee what's happening with every single individual, whether there's some, accurate report that we could all trust that would say, oh yes, we know what's happening to these people, but all we can get at the moment is, asking our planet, asking our hearts, asking each other, what's really going on in our planet? If one person was missing and being enslaved, I would want to help. And I feel that we can all help by, at very least, bringing our awareness to the possibilities. Just as Cheryl has, started to ask questions about it. And it all starts with asking questions, and with an open heart, begin to feel into, well, what are the truths for us and what do we really need to face? I also felt from yesterday's video, it was really helpful to help prepare us, prepare us to the possibility, because with a big, beautiful, loving, open heart, we can really help each other, help this whole planet. If we're scared of the, people who are enslaved that break free, and if we're scared of the people that perpetrated these things against them, then, fear will not take us to our new world, or at least not a new world that I choose, but our love will. And believe you me, I also believe in justice, right? I believe in justice for all. And I also believe beyond our, I know beyond our laws, the universe has its own self-correcting mechanism called karma. And we can, if you feel free to post a request for an entire video about karma if you wish. Okay, well, thank you so much for that, Cheryl. Let's pick another one. So there's one here from, this is from Evan. Username is Evan Thorson. And it says, for those of us, I'm so happy this one came through. Thank you, Evan. So you've said, for those of us still working for someone else in a 9-to-5 3D world, and that was me till May last year, can you share how you're able to live in that world while gaining your awareness, knowledge, advancement, and still tune out, if possible, being dragged back into the mire of the day-to-day world, and then break free of that world to start your present journey? I feel conflicted as I've created a lifestyle for my family, and that requires money to maintain a standard of living that we're used to. If it were just me, I would stop it all and start over, but I don't want to be the cause of their pain. What does the day in the life of Jon look like during that time with family, friends, and co-workers, etc.? For me, hearing another person's how-to path experience provides me with encouragement and ideas to achieve the same. Thank you for all you do, Evan. Thank you so much, Evan. Okay, so there's quite a few questions, so let's go through these one at a time, because the reason I'm guided to this, I know how many people this affects. That's kind of a rhetorical statement. I don't know the exact number of how many people this affects, just that it affects many people, should I say. So first of all, you're asking about, and I'd love to bring in my higher self and my guides into this question, because I love to get their opinions too, not just mine. The first is, so the key, Evan and everyone watching, to unlocking a form of stability, a foundation in your life that you can then use to begin to revolutionize your life, and it is a complete revolution, right? Is for me, it's meditation. And so I started meditating every morning in 2017. I'd never done it before in my life. I'd had that incredible experience in November 2017 doing it once, and I didn't look up meditation videos or anything. I just sat myself, and I remember hearing a couple of like these music meditation videos, and there's that one class that I'd been to. So I just started repeating the bits I knew, and I felt that I would start to create an empty space, this void in those few minutes where I'd be calm, and I'd listen to my heart, and become aware of my body, become aware of my breathing, listen to the birds outside, my pet patch at my feet here, my papillon. Just become aware of myself, and even ask questions, or, just allow my focus to be on one thing, and all those noisy thoughts, and I get them constantly, right? It's, just because I've been meditating every day for thousands of days, I've just learned in that practice to allow the thoughts come in, just like a car going past on a busy highway, and the thought goes by. Thought comes in, oh, I must fix my toilet. I've realized that it's not working. Our one up in our upstairs bathroom. I'll fix it after the meditation. So it just comes in and goes by. And in those minutes, it's important to just allow all that noise, all the chaos, all the stress and anxiety, reassure it and say, I'm coming for you right after this. I know you can wait 5 minutes. Because I know that when really important things happen in my life, everything can wait 5 minutes. And that you deserve 5 minutes. You deserve 5 minutes. So that's why I created my Spirit Guide meditations. Please do. They're free of charge, because I feel my meditation is free of charge. And to answer the question of, this is to answer the question of, like, how do you kind of tune out, if you like. If you're doing something every day, so for me, it's 10 minutes every day where I could say to myself, Jon, you're safe. You know, your mind is calm, your breathing is calm. And you know what? Doesn't matter what happens for the rest of the day. I'm calm right now. I'm happy right now. I'm safe right now. And that was so important to me. And what happens is it creates, because I do meditation right at the beginning of the day, it means I have this reference point throughout my day. So imagine that meditation for me is about a 9 or 10 in happiness, right? I'm in those moments, and I don't meditate for huge amounts of time, but in those moments, I am right up towards the top of my happiness. So then when I, go and get a shower, get dressed, some days I've been putting on a suit, I might even be traveling to the US because I was working at Amazon at the time. So I was traveling to Seattle and Vancouver every 3 months. I might be doing a presentation to a director, my manager, did a lot of work for the board of Amazon. And so they were stressful times and I would constantly doubt myself. I'd be like, oh, I'm not good enough for that job, or I'm not, I need to work harder, and, I'm worried that if I don't do a good job, I might get fired. And yet, the vast majority of the time was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed working at Amazon, but I knew that in my heart wasn't really in software and artificial intelligence. I loved the people management side, but I didn't enjoy so much, just building stuff that I felt it did help some people's lives because we're helping people get jobs, but my soul wasn't really in it. So that's one side. So that second question of how do you stop being dragged back into the mire of the day-to-day world? Well, I just gradually got a little bit better at it each day, like tiny bit better, right? So I just go into a stressful day. You finish your meditation and you just do your day. But the difference is I'd be, going to the toilet, the restroom, I'd be going for lunch, and I'd remember, hey, this morning I was like a 9 or 10 in happiness. How do I feel right now? Oh, I'm like a 3 or a 4 or 2. Like I might be in a really bad feeling. And I would just hold that remembrance of that feeling of like, there's something I can do each day that allows me to be of a high vibration. So maybe I should think about, connecting with that more. Maybe I should expand that out more. And one thing I started to do was I started to spend more time each day. So I started doing music. And I also, so that I was doing it weekends. And then by 2019, into February 2019, I started doing music every day. I think that's about right. Yeah. So I started writing a song every day, and I was asking my spirit guides in meditation for messages, and it's what I still do. Every song I create now is the thousands of songs I've created are channeled messages from my spirit guides. And then you said, and then break free from your world to start your present journey. So there's a whole, this is a big subject, right? It could be a whole big video, but the simple things I did was I first of all started to feel into what do I want? If it's not this, as Evan describes, Evan saying, hinting that there's a world to break free from. I started to, I followed some people on YouTube who I thought were, on just subscribing to their YouTube channels. I was interested in their direction they were going, and started to learn about people doing what I do today as a day job, as a psychic or energy healer or a reflexologist or a blend of all these things, or whatever that they did, or meditation teacher. And I also went on, I started to learn these skills that I use now. Today, you see me doing. I started to practice. So I did 2. So I had no idea what I was doing, right? But I was guided to start doing energy healing, clearing negative energy and healing people over Zoom, remote sessions. And I started with friends that I've met on YouTube, mainly through my music and other spiritually minded YouTube channels. And I said, oh, I'd like to do a free session for you. And then I just did, 20, 30 minutes, and I brought in golden light from the highest dimension of source, and I sent them light. And it was beautiful. Those first couple of sessions were just fantastic. And I remember them vividly. And they were so short, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know much, but I just started doing that once or twice a week for a few years. And so it's so important to feel into, well, do you enjoy it? Like, there's just no point in breaking free from something that you don't even know what it is you want to break free into. What do you want to do with freedom? And I didn't have a plan. And in fact, I still don't have a plan. But that would be a whole video to explain a bit more about what I do have. You can go to the Jon Binnie website, jonbinnie.com, the Learn More link. Go in there, and it tells you about my future press release vision. And it's my vision of what I'm trying to do to help the planet at this time and the universe, to help harmonize darkness and light, support people in their awakening journeys. And then I go into a lot of detail about balancing my life and my joy. So, Jon and his family, doing all the things I love doing, music and camping adventures and travel. So all these things. We're going camping today, which I'm excited about, just after this video. So that's a big thing also. And what I started to do was, and I'm just touching on the next question about money and the lifestyle, is I was of a similar view, before I left, and most people will tell you this, right? Unless there's someone like me who's a coach, kind of, that coaching aspect of me is like, hey, you're going to like earn millions of dollars or whatever, living your dream life. What I would say categorically is that if you're using the term breaking free from the current job you're in, it's likely that your soul, your heart, is not in it, that it isn't fully aligned with your chosen purpose and mission, the mission that your soul has chosen and that you as a human get to choose in this life. And so a lot of what you need to do is go on a journey of exploration, and you can still be working while you're doing this to explore what you really want. You can do things, I do a lot of this in one-to-one sessions with people, help them explore their soul purpose, life purpose. I even offer a service, if you look on the bookings page, called Heart Aligned Business Mentoring. And it's all about this, Evan. But this isn't about a sales pitch. I'm trying to just to help provide a bit more detail about how I broke free. I then went part-time at Amazon for, I went from 5 days a week to 3 days a week for 2 years. And as I mentioned earlier, we made big changes about downsizing a lot of things in our lives. And that was to make things simple. And what it also did is it meant that when I started my business, I wasn't so worried. We managed to pay off our mortgage, which we felt very fortunate at age 48. It feels fantastic. So that helped a lot. So reducing these complexities and burdens. And I still ask my kids, which house do they prefer? It's like, we prefer this one. This one's much nicer, and it's smaller, but it's perfectly formed. Sorry, not but, and perfectly formed. And then I think, and it's also important to that conflicted part. I want to be really clear, Evan, and to everyone watching, you will be told that you will earn less money, right, if you go and work for yourself or like follow your joy, follow your passion. I disagree, right? I feel that actually salaried jobs, and I know many jobs are also commissioned or hourly rates and shifts and all these different patterns, but often they're when you think about it, they're often capped by the employer. And when you work for yourself, and I work for myself, there's no limit to what you can earn, right? Yeah, you have to pay a lot of, like everyone, you have to pay your taxes as you earn more money, but it feels very liberating. And I no longer worry about my income. And the first few months was definitely a journey for me to not just overwork myself and advertise all the time. Hey, it's Jon Binnie, book me for a session. videos and dancing, doing this and all these things, and join my masterclass, do this, do that. I just started to really open up and work on myself and develop my self-love and self-care, because it's your self-love and self-care that actually fuel your passion for your business and for your success and your abundance, right? Not the other way around. I used to think at Amazon that, for example, that the salary that I would earn would then enable me to spend time with my family and friends and loved ones. And now that I run my own business, I know it's the opposite way around. It's the time I spend with my family, friends, loved ones, and with my joy that fuels my fire, the fire in my belly and my heart to do this, to come and stand in front of you on a Saturday morning just before you're camping and share this. Like, I love doing this. I absolutely love it. Okay. And then you also asked about a day in the life of Jon during that time with family and friends, coworkers, etc. And I would say that to begin with, I didn't talk much about my meditation practices. So for the first couple of years, I maybe mentioned I did meditation. Music was the most dominant thing. And what I did do is I started to bring more of me to work. So after a couple of years, I did update my Amazon phone, like the whole company, the corporate company. And when I left, it was around 1.8 million people just in corporate, that I had this Jon Binnie, senior software manager, artificial intelligence and recruitment. And it literally say about Jon. And it'd say, my mission is to raise the vibrations of billions of hearts by, through meditation, I receive messages and write songs every day to help raise people's vibes. And then have a link to my YouTube channel. And that took years, literally years, for people to really notice that was a thing, because it was still there and I keep updating it. And sometimes people would look me up, especially people, because it's a big company and very federated, every team was very autonomous. A lot of people would do their research and look you up. And so they'd say, oh, Jon, I've watched your videos, or I watched your Highest Jon video. And we talk a little bit about that. So it started to get bolder and bolder. In fact, I may dig it out at some point, but the last time I was in Seattle a couple of years ago, I took a guitar and I was playing guitars, presenting, doing, we had a stall set out for our artificial intelligence software, and directors of the company would come over and see us, or they call them the S team. And they would, every time someone came over, I would have a little chat with them and had a little portable guitar, a little speaker. And then I'd say at the end, can I sing you a song? And they'd say, what's it about? And I'd say, what's about you? And I would just sing a song about them and what we discussed. And I remember the 2 days that I was doing about 40 songs a day. And people just loved it. A couple of people said, oh, that's impossible. You can't do that. And I said, I'm not going to argue. I'll just do it. Is that okay? I'm just going to do it. And just did it. And there's a photo of me, with one of the directors of Amazon, a couple of them, and wearing my guitar. And it was so funny, because when I left the company, those same people said, what we loved about you the most, Jon, is you always brought joy and fun to, often very serious and challenging presentations and work. And you're so grateful for that. And I love that. I love that I was remembered for my joy as I left, not just the software we delivered, the customers that we helped. Day in the life was still, largely the same, but I did for a while, 500 songs I wrote in the Amazon office before I started the day. So friends and coworkers would hear all about that. And then over time, eventually I went part-time. After 6 years, I went part-time. So the last 2 years was part-time, 3 days a week. And then it was like, I was coming out. It's like, hi, I didn't say I was psychic. I just said, I'm going to do more meditation. I'm going to train in reflexology. I'm going to become a meditation teacher. And I also went on to do Swedish massage and Indian head massage. I qualified in those recently. But this was a big shift. And so I became much more of the tree-hugging version of Jon Binnie. I could do a whole video of this in much more detail. If you ever want to, an offer to Evan, if you ever want to, for instance, interview me for an hour about it, I'd love to answer questions. just let me know. And you can just email me at john@johnbinnie.com. We could do a video together if that appeals to you. And then I also did create there are videos. So if you look back at me in April, so my videos around April 2024, last year, you'll see me going through the transition. So April 30th was the last day in the office. May 31st was the day I registered Heart Centered Wellness Limited, my current company. So you would see me, I remember this video vividly. There was this video just a day or two after I left Amazon, and I said, that's it, day 2, or whatever, day 3 after leaving Amazon, send food. And it was so funny. It was like, because I was so scared. I was so scared and so terrified. And I was just like, what? It's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to run out of money. I'm going to end up, it felt like I was jumping off a cliff, because I was. And this is very much the way, I'm not just describing a personal experience. I'm also describing an experience that it feels that this whole world is now going through. And that is that when you break out of that fear, when you say, I don't need to be in this constrained environment anymore, I can break free into something new and expansive for me. When I did that, initially I was shocked that everything was kind of the same, right? I'd still get up in the morning. I could still walk a patch in the morning. I could still, be with my friends and family. And it was like, oh, this is interesting. The world hasn't stopped. I'm still going. And so I did create something called the Liberation Vlogs. They were private, but I'm pretty sure I published them. They're just they're kind of nonsensical. Like they're not like polished in any way. It's just a series of raw videos. And some of them are, me sat in this very room a couple of years ago, on the verge of crying, just saying, I'm just so scared. I'm just so scared and I wanted to record videos of how I felt. I wanted to capture that moment, because you would look at me now, right, and say, oh, John seems pretty happy. He's like a happy, high vibe guy, especially when he's not having to to deal with the huge challenges humanity faces. So these are just important parts of our journey that I'm happy to share more on. So thank you so much for that powerful question. And let's go on and do at least one more. So thank you so much, Evan. So just picking another one randomly. Okay, so this is one from All That Is Oneness. I love your name. Thank you. And this is from a few days ago. And you said, why this dream we call living, in brackets, all dimensions / timelines included, has been created in the shared mind, and when will we reawaken into God as one? Okay, so great question. It's definitely a big question about the nature of reality. So let me ask. I'm going to ask one of my guides a bit more about this, because one of them is saying that they would like to answer. Yeah, my Lyran guide, Emin Chal. Okay, yeah, please step forwards. And Emin Chal, my Lyran guide, is referring to a little meditation practice we did yesterday. So we placed our hands on our hearts, and we opened up our hearts. And if you focus into the center of your heart and feel into the very center of your heart chakra, in and around the center of your heart chakra, you can begin to feel and explore into the feeling of source within you. And this is a golden divine spark, as I describe it. It can change color. It could even change position within you. We're all unique. And this sensation of touching, if you place your hand on the center of your heart, and imagine the tips of your fingers just touching into that source love energy, you're touching oneness at this time. So the source love energy in your heart, this is one. And your arm and your hand is unique to you. So this is a unique expression. You are a unique expression of source touching itself. And to this extent, this is the most real aspect of your consciousness. When you are in those moments, you are both the creator and the created, experiencing itself. I don't really want to let go of my my heart now. Patch is digging a hole in my rug below. And this dream that we all call living, I love that question. I was shown earlier today what happens when you stand at the edge of the universe. And I was like, oh, okay, why am I being shown this? I don't really have a lot of interest. And it was my Mantis guide, Marita, showing me. And she said, because Jon, I want you to really understand that when you get to the edge of the universe, the edge of the physical universe, that it just extends. And it's because there is no edge of the universe. Because wherever your consciousness travels, you're creating a universe around you. It's your consciousness creating this universe. You know that expression, that saying, what happens if a tree falls in the woods and there's no one there? Does it make a sound? Well, you can answer that by saying, well, yes, because the trees are conscious, because the squirrel that ran out the way is conscious. And it's actually, even the tree that fell itself was conscious. And so it's all consciousness. And I find that fascinating. It's a fascinating truth to feel into, and just feel into what it means for you, right? Which is everything conscious in this universe? If it is, I feel it goes some way to answering the question, all that is oneness. Thank you for your question. That really, it's our consciousness is constantly creating this reality around us. And that together we co-create a consciousness around us. And this also goes to the reality around us, and including the physical reality. So if it wasn't for you and I, there would be no, Gaia would exist because she has her own consciousness, but there would be no universe, or there'd be no world, no concepts of countries, all these systems that we create, all these paradigms and truths that we create for ourselves wouldn't exist without us. That this universe needs our consciousness to exist. And it also goes some way to explain about why, truths can be different, because they are literally experienced differently through the eye of the beholder, through the consciousness that receives it. And you asked, when will awaken to God as one? It was lovely this morning, my Lyran guide, Emmonshaw, describing we are going through mass awakenings now. So this period, and wouldn't that be lovely to have a chart? I'm staying away from creating data predictions and all these things, but wouldn't it be lovely to have this graph that said, there were a percentage of the human race and the number of open hearts that we have, or should I say the number of hearts currently open? Because just as Evan was, asking about how hearts can open up and close and open up when we're relaxed in a meditation, or when we're closed in fear. So I hope that helps. And I'm just going to at least do one more. So thank you for your question. Let me just randomly pick one. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Okay, I have one here from Ivalani, and saying, I know on one of the psychic readings that you've done recently, you offered a healing while you might not be offering now, I asked for healing for my cat, Kalani, who has kidney disease. I asked him for permission. It's to make him as comfortable as possible for as long as possible. So let me just help at this time. So bringing in Ivalani, the owner, and Kalani, and just focusing on the kidney and helping with healing at this time, bringing down source light from the highest dimension of source above. Good. And Ivalani, you can definitely just stroke Kalani for me. I saw, the kidneys of cats are so small and tiny, right? Especially compared to ours. And just encouraging you as you're stroking and petting Kalani to encourage them to release everything. Our pets have a big tendency to take on the burden of our energy. And so as you stroke, dogs and cats in particular, as you stroke them from head to toe, saying out loud, I give you permission to release anything that doesn't serve you into Mother Earth. And so often they'll pick up our traumas, our low vibration emotions, and try and take that burden off us. So I hope that helps you. For future healings, etc., please, you can request these in our live streams. So they're usually Monday and Thursday. I'm taking this Monday off, but usually Mondays and Thursdays, 4:30 UK time in the afternoon, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, and 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And that's where you can put your requests in. You can also book me for a one-to-one session if you wish. Okay, let's do one more question. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. And it says, this is from Julianne. Hello, Julianne. You put this in a couple of days ago. Hi, John. Please, may you ask if Brisbane, Australia will be safe over the next 3 months for the effects of seismic activity? Okay. Thank you. So let's ask. Starting with Mother Gaia and her elementals of Australia and surrounding area. So Gaia is bringing attention to the word safe because there is seismic activity. And she also said this at some point, including in the next 3 months, many different places across the earth will be subject to some seismic activity, but it's not all bad, right? It's not all destructive. And I was shown for Brisbane, she's just showing me. Okay. Yeah, she's showing me activity from the Pacific and just saying it's the Brisbane, and there's she was showing me these resonating waves coming out from what do you call it, the epicenter, and what I heard was that this the epicenter, these resonating waves will have some effect on Brisbane. And I was actually just checking. I thought I knew where Brisbane was, and she was showing me on the East Coast. And I was like, is it really on the East Coast? I don't know. And what was fascinating to see was that, yes, there is some seismic activity, but it feels lower, and it does not. And I can see it some of it flowing across the ocean, which is really fascinating because when when I zoom out to Earth, I did consider maybe buying a globe. If anyone wants to donate for me buying a globe, let me know so I could hold it up on camera. I know that you're facing out into the Pacific Ocean, and there was a lot of activity much further north. Like I keep seeing Japan and further up to the north east out into the Pacific. That was a repeating message from Gaia, but you're some distance away from it in Brisbane. So yes, you're safe, is what Gaia's saying at the moment, and she says that there's, as she said before a few times to me, a sequence of events that happen. So this is the time frames. This is to help answer the 3 months. Is this an answer for 3 months now? Yes. Has Gaia got like a complete plan for what's going to happen? No. And there's a lot of her free will. I could go and ask the Akashic Records for this as well, and to give you snapshots of the potential futures. But know that there's significant conscious decisions between the sun and the earth right now, and deciding about the sequence of events in particular, because this has the greatest bearing on humanity. And then secondly, the like what happens where, and also targeting, as we heard earlier, some of these facilities to help bring to light, bring to surface the enslavement and the mistreatment of other humans. Okay. Well, I think that's us for today. Thank you so much. Please keep your questions coming, and I'll definitely do more questions and answers videos if that's what you guys like. Let me know. And just before we close the session, perhaps to let me know that you've watched the whole video. You'd like to leave a message with the phrase, so leave a comment with the phrase, I send my love from my open heart to all beings across this planet. I send love from my open heart to all beings across this planet. So thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I'd like to thank our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia. Also the sun, the moon, and every being that's participated in today's session. As I close the session down, we can remain in our individual protected bubbles for as long as we choose. I close it down and return it to Source, or never return here again. And please get plenty of rest, drink plenty of water, look after yourself. I'll be away camping, so you won't be getting a video from me tomorrow. Well, you get a Highest John video, as always. You might get a walking video, you never know, but you won't be getting a long video like this. So I hope you enjoyed this content. And yeah, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments who you are, what's your name, where you're from. I love hearing all about you, and it really helps when I'm answering these questions. It's just so helpful because I feel that I'm able to know who you are. I get a sense of real people, not just a bunch of numbers that YouTube tells me. So thank you. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Sending so much love from Scotland. Please do check out my website. Feel free to book me in for sessions. Join my free meditation challenge on the homepage of my website. And please take care of yourselves and have a beautiful weekend. Thank you so much, everyone. Sending so much love. Bye.